Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 10, titled Identity Crisis, follows Emery as she takes on a new role of Chief Scientist at Mount Tantiss, and Cad Bane finds his way into the episode along with his theme as well. This is Star Wars Music Analysis.
Do it.
The episode begins with a lone violin like the tuning note at the beginning of a concert, preparing everyone else to join. The rest of the strings gradually do join into a peaceful chorale. However, the harmony turns minor as the child begins to create chaos in the market.
I told you that kid was strange. People say he's cursed, you know?
Low distorted drones enter as the crowd dissipates, and the kid is given up for a bounty. The drones continue into the next scene as we transition to Mount Tantiss. They're joined by Hemlock's theme in the high strings as a violin duet as we see him again. The cellos take up his theme next, bringing it from a creepy register back to one of threat.
What's the issue?
It moves into sinister drones and synths as Hemlock begins to explain Project Necromancer to Emery. But as they enter the room with Force-sensitive children, the timbre of the instruments changes to one more like a music box with a high chime to represent the innocence of the children in the room.
Are there not adults that could serve this purpose?
Back with the child and its mother, Cad Bane makes an appearance. And who else would we ever really expect when it comes to kidnapping children in Star Wars? It's kind of his specialty. As he enters though, variations of his short motif enter as well. It's this little oscillation back and forth that then descends by a leap to different scale degrees.
Coming right up, Mr. Bane.
The Western mariachi sounds that normally go with his music are absent this time, and personally I think it was a good choice. Cad Bane is clearly a Western influence, but it's nice to see him able to be adapted away from that at times. The lighter music for the children is not quite as light this time as Emery tries to fight against her kind instincts towards the children.
My name's Eva. What's yours?
You may refer to me as Dr. Carr.
It's almost like the music is fighting with her. As the little green giant's son grabs Emery's datapad and attempts to escape, the music changes entirely, picking up energy with a rhythmic beat to reflect the energy of the scene increasing. It recedes slightly as Emery begins to speak with him.
They said I could go home.
But as the commandos enter, distorted drones enter, re-increasing the tension of the scene.
What's the situation?
As the clones finally leave, a very John Williams-esque horn riff escorts them out along with the scene. The same synth motif re-enters as the child is placed back in his cell. This is clearly a track that the Kinders will continue to use for this room and for the Force-sensitive children held captive. It uses the bass line from Hemlock's theme to reflect that these children are under his control.
Dr. Carr?
Yes?
Is...
The Terminator-like beats return as Hemlock speaks with the Shadow Clone, returning his looming terror to the story. And I was a little bit surprised that we didn't continue to hear the clone theme itself that we heard in earlier episodes.
Return without Omega.
The music becomes haunting as Emery goes to meet the new child captive. Cad Bane's theme returns as he speaks to Emery. It continues throughout the scene in the piano, bass
Who I
clarinet,
am is none
and
of
other
your
low
concern.
instruments casually looming in the background, just like the bounty hunter himself.
How many others like this have you captured?
Let's just say
And where did this child come from?
The ghostly music returns as we find ourselves back in the children's room on Mount Tantiss. The music lightens up slightly as
How is
Eva
the
begins to
activity?
open up to Emery.
He just
For the
wanted
rest
to
of
go
the
home.
episode, the strings, an acoustic and more natural sound, slowly begin to overpower the more haunting and robotic synths. They lighten up the scene while bringing a more humanistic quality to the sound. At the same time, Emery continues to demonstrate that she can't fall into line with what Hemlock wants her to do, that she is still human and has the care
just
and
wanted
empathy
to go
of a
home.
good person. The music lightens the darkness just as the scene ends with the lights being turned back on in the cell, a sign of hope for everything to come. The episode ends with the strings cutting off on the dominant or fifth scale degree. It leaves the energy and anticipation of the episode hanging in the air, reflecting that this story is not yet finished being told. And since this was a two-part release, it perfectly keeps the suspense going into the second half. And I absolutely would love to know what all of you think. What did you think of this episode, and how do you think Emery's story will unfold next? Will we see Cad Bane again, and what will happen to these children? What did you think of the adaptation of his theme for this episode as well? Tell me in the comments below what you think. Consider checking out my Patreon page using the link in the description, where you can help support this channel for as little as $1 a month, or download PDFs and MP3s of projects as I complete them, along with other perks at higher tiers. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to learn more about the music of a galaxy far, far away, and as always, may the be with you.